And how's it, everybody? Good evening and welcome to our latest webinar. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. And I'm not going to keep you busy long. Tony and them have got a lot of stuff to get through, and we've got a number of guests joining us this evening. I'm going to hand straight over to Tony without any further ado. Tony.
Tertius, thank you so much. Listen, I just want to personally thank you, Tertius, because you know what, we've just landed from America. We've been an amazing 3 weeks, attending events, attending a launch, and it's great to have team leaders, partners like yourself, you know, that just with a few phone calls and a few SMSs can get a hangout going like today. So thank you very much for making our lives easier. And that's the power of a team, guys. You know, that's why we're all part of a team, because everybody does what he's supposed to be doing, and because of the collective approach of the team, we've got a winning formula going. And so, Tertius, listen, thank you so much. But I think next year you've got a problem, because next year you're coming with us to America, and then we're going to be doing this on the run and that. So, guys, yes, Tertius.
Tony, by that time we'll have another team in place, and we'll have other people with the necessary skills to do that as well. So
Exactly. So listen, I just want to welcome every single person that's on the webinar. Thank you for giving your time from wherever you are. For some of us it's late at night. Some of you guys it's early morning, and the rest, you know what, so just welcome on this webinar. We've got quite a few speakers that's going to be on, and the time is going to be limited, so I'm going to say as little as possible, and I'm going to get some of the excitement that's happening now in a group. Just a bit of background for you, some of you guys that might be the first time on this webinar, and just might be the first time meeting these people that's on the webinar. We've just returned from an amazing trip to America, where we were fortunate enough to attend with our sponsors and our team leaders that I'll introduce you to now to them. The launch of WUKAR, which is a team that we are all part of, and you'll get to hear more of that later. And after that, we went off to Las Vegas and attended some conferences in Las Vegas. So we're going to give you guys some feedback of what's happening and where this team is heading to and what we've got planned for you guys. So the first person I want to get on to the webinar is two ladies. They're somewhere in Vryheid, somewhere in South Africa. This group of people just logged into the team a few weeks ago, and they took massive action. You know, they started working. They started putting phone calls in place, started contacting the people, started putting the emails in place, and started contacting people. And then one day, she just phoned me, and Karen told me, listen, what's this event that you're talking about that's in America? I've never been to America. And I told her, listen, you know what, it's like in a week and a half or 2 weeks' time, we're off to America, and we're attending the launch of our team, officially, you know. So Karen just said, can I come? And I said, of course you can come. You know, you just arrange. And I'm telling you, within an instant of 2 minutes, she just committed, and she said she was going to go. She had no visas, nothing was planned. And I thought I was just taking Karen with us. And meantime, Karen brought you a whole family. So I'm going to give it over to Karen. Karen, please tell us, what was your experience, what you experienced in America, that what you see, that what you saw, and that's what you see for the group going further. So over to you, Karen.
Hi, thank you very much, Tony. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Well, what can I say? We were still on holiday, and I organized the visas. I'm so glad we went. I don't think it's just my life. I think Carol and her husband Yuri's life has changed tremendously. That's what we got out of San Diego. If we didn't go, we wouldn't have got the amount of everything that we got there. That it was just fantastic. We came back with such we're different people. We've got different attitudes. We came back just totally different. We're approaching everything. We're just approaching differently. And yes, and we're following what you guys are teaching us, and we're doing it, and it's working. So yes, it's really fantastic. It's changed our lives, really. I don't know if you want to say something.
No.
And she's still just yeah.
You can just say hi to us if you want to.
I'm still just here.
So, listen, Carol and Karen, obviously we had the privilege of meeting up with, you know, our mentors, which is Albie and Lawrence, and we had some great private time with them. Can you give a bit of feedback on that, what you've got to know about Lawrence? Because obviously you don't know them from a bar or soap before the time. I mean, how long have you known Lawrence and Albie?
No, I actually met Albie and Lawrence in San Diego. And I learned a tremendous amount, especially from both of them, each one in their own way. Albie taught me that there's a big difference that speaking from your heart than with your mind. And I couldn't understand it, but when after the whole setup, I understood everything he said. And Lawrence is also the whole internet side of everything. I've grasped much better. I made a small little video the other day, and in which I said I learned more in those 3 days than I've learned the last 3 years on the internet. And I've been struggling for 3 years to try and survive on the internet. Now I don't have to struggle. I've got everything. So yes, we've learned a tremendous amount of info from them both. And something that I've also learned is we're all human. Money doesn't change us. That was a big lesson for me. And I'm sure for you too. So yeah. Learned a lot.
So some people think they are still this gurus and this mist, this internet icon or somebody that you cannot connect with, and they're just a mist in the air. Are they real? Are they real people like you and I?
No, they're very real. I was actually shocked. We were walking around. We were on our way to our own little day in San Diego, and Lawrence phoned me, and I was like, wow, this guy's phoning me. And he said, come, let's go for a day out. And I learned a lot from him just by, he's human, just like me. And he spoke to us like we're all the same.
He's known you for years.
Yes. He did. He spoke to us like he's known us for years, and he shared everything with us that he could share. And if I asked him something, he tried to help. So yes, that was very informative.
Fantastic. Karen, is this obviously you get now to attend the WUKAR launch. What did you think about the launch? I mean, you know, have you been to events like this before, or was it your first one?
No, this was our first. This was the first biggest one I've ever been to. I have been in previous businesses. I have been to a small launch, but this was unbelievable. It was very emotional for me because it was a dream that I had for 17 years, and it was just like every now and again I asked Carol, am I dreaming? And she says, no, it's true, So it was awesome. It was fantastic, and everything that happened during that weekend was a learning curve from A to Z. It was really fantastic.
And when you say it was a dream of yours for 17 years, just give me a bit of insight. What do you mean by that?
Well, for 17 years, I have been dreaming of having my own internet business, and you can't have a business. It's not a success unless you make money. And everybody, my whole family, everybody used to say, you're on that laptop again. What are you doing? You're permanently in front of that thing. And I used to put it aside. And when I walked into this, I saw there is hope. You can have your own business and you can make money. It is possible. Although so many people said it's not possible and you're dreaming and you're blowing bubbles in the air, it's not true. You can make money on the internet. So yeah, that's what happened for me.
And obviously when you started experiencing the launch, and we had an amazing 3 days in San Diego with the WUKAR launch, but what's the one thing that stood out for you? You know, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but what's the one thing that you took for yourself home? what's the one thing that stood out for you?
Well, something that was really that it was fantastic. The way that Matt told us, you know, he's also just a person. He's actually a fantastic guy, and everybody, all of us have got faults, and something that, you know, what he taught me there was bring it out, get over it, and one thing that I brought home is the opinion, the space that other people's opinion in my head. I need to get it out because it doesn't belong there. And that's what I brought home. And ever since I've done that, well, everything is working for us and it's turning. So we're very happy. And I'm sure Carol and them as well, because we've been talking about it a lot. So that's what I brought home.
Well, Karen, thank you very much for your time. Carol, say hi to Yuri. And I think he was the privileged one because, you know, he just attended. And I remember the one part where Yuri just said, you know, he was going to sit outside because he didn't think he was part of the inside team. Remember that day? And what, just give people the feedback, and just to tell people that story quickly.
Come on, Carol, you tell it.
He's not really into it because he's not up to date. So he'll not just hang around and keep himself busy and wait for us. And then eventually when he did go, he was like, okay. And he's actually got more people interested than what we have, believe it or not.
I just loved it because I saw him sitting outside and I said, well, okay, maybe, you know what, he doesn't want to join, but he just didn't knew that he could go in, you know, because obviously you guys had paid for the team and he was, and then the next day when I saw him, I mean, this guy was just like on fire, you know. I said, where are you coming from?
No, it is really, I mean, he can't stop talking about it, but he's changed, eh? It changed him a lot. And it's actually unreal because a lot of people tend to think others are superior to them. And that's why I say between the two of them, they learned a lot. And Karen, I promise you, I can't thank you enough because she stopped searching for something on the internet.
I've wasted a lot of her money.
So Carol, so how did Karen get you to go? I mean, how was that possible?
Nothing, because I mean, we've been friends for 8 years. Best friends, the last 4 years. I mean, she's actually stayed here since her divorce and stuff, and she's searching and searching and searching. She searched a lot. She really changed. She learned a lot. And we stood behind her. And she just said to me, okay, I've joined. And I said, yeah, okay. And she said, are you listening? I said, yeah. Okay.
No, let me rephrase this. I jumped up and down and I said, we're going to San Diego. And Carol's like, okay, where's San Diego? And I'm like, I don't care, we need to get visas, we need to get to go. And she's like, okay, we're going. And as I said, when we were in San Diego, there was 2 people, they were standing behind me. Now they're both standing next to me. And yeah, we went, and I'm so glad I did that because all I did was just swipe her credit card.
Guys, I know what's going on your team. I know the excitement that's there. I know what's in the pipeline, and I know that you guys have got a massive, massive team coming in that. So congratulations, well done. I am so proud of you guys. You know, that's people like you that take decisions on the instinct, that works with their gut feeling and not overanalyze things, that make a great success out of this industry. And I just want to compliment you. Always listen to your heart. Always listen to that inner voice that is guiding you all the time, you know. And I know that you guys are going to make a huge success. But more than that, I know your heart, and I know that you guys are going to change a lot of people's lives. So thank you very much for your time. It was great spending time with you. And please stay on to the webinar so you guys can listen to the rest of the group from there, okay?
Thank you very much, Tony. Thanks.
Fantastic. Guys, the next couple I want to bring up, and what's nice about this industry, I've been fortunate enough to be over nearly 6 years in network marketing, and there was always an upline or a downline or a sideline, or I don't know what you want to call it. And about 2 years ago, I was privileged enough to attend a mastermind event of a big group in America. And for the first time, I heard the word professional network marketer. Network marketing as a profession. And I walked out of that event 3 days later with something that in me said, you know what, this is much, much bigger than what I anticipated. And when and obviously that thought became bigger and bigger, and it just grew and grew more. And when I got the opportunity of getting involved on the internet, where for me, I've met the people, I've seen them. We that are taking network marketing and internet marketing and combining that are the guys that are the top earners in this industry. And those that embrace that are getting massive, massive results right now. So I don't see people as upline, I don't see people as downline. And this couple that I want to introduce you guys, I've known them for many years. They're actually my senior, and I've known of them. And and Andrew is a successful traditional businessman, and Natalie is a more successful businessman. Sorry, Andrew, I don't know who's going to take the blame now for that one, but both of them are successful entrepreneurs. And I've just always looked up to them. They had different franchises. Natalie's a go-getter. She jumps into a thing and decides later on what to do. So that's a true entrepreneur. And I've just known them in my community for many, many years, and I respect them. And then when I got the privilege of working with them, which is now more than 13 months ago, that respect that I had just grew into a huge respect, and that created now into a great friendship that's cultured now out of this environment. So it's with great pleasure and great honor that I want to introduce you to my business partners that I think for the rest of our life that we are going to be on earth are going to do things together. You know what? And I just want Andrew and Natalie to give their experience. We had so much crazy fun, but they'll tell you all about it. And so Andrew, Natalie, the stage is yours.
Hi guys, great to see you all. Tony, I just want to remind you the reason why you look up to me is because I'm taller than you. But guys, honestly, it was such an experience, and it was great to catch up with our leaders, with Lawrence, with Albie. It was the first time that we met Albie, and we felt so at home with him and with Lawrence. It was like we'd known them for years. And on that Saturday morning when we went out on Friday, sorry, I'm forgetting the days, and we went out for the day, I kept saying to myself, I'm so blessed. I am so blessed to be firstly where I am and to be with the people that we're with. The way I feel about Albie and Lawrence now, if they had told me to go and tackle those American footballers with their helmets, I'm sure Natalie and myself would. We're right there with them. Nat?
All I want to say is hi to everybody, and I want you to know something. What I've learned in the past 3 weeks, 53 years of life hasn't taught me. It's been wonderful to spend some time with people I love, and I genuinely do love them, even though I did beat Albie on the Segway. I loved it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But on the one part now, on a more serious note, what I have learned, okay, over and above, I mean, since the beginning, Lawrence has been trying to teach me by telling me you need to stay focused, you need to give value. And honest to God, I didn't know what he meant by give value. To me, I thought, but I'm nice. What more must I give? And in the past 3 weeks, I've learned what value is all about. It's people want, from the top guys in the industry, no matter whether it was on the first conference, second or third, all these guys are humble. Okay, and the one thing that they keep on sort of bringing back to you, no matter where you are in life, don't forget your humble beginnings, because that is what makes you, that is what's actually made you. So it's not about me making millions. It's about having dreams as well to actually help others that, you know, like right now, yes, the money is good. Let's not, no, none of us are going to fool ourselves. Yes, the money is good. But what we really, I'm looking forward to me being able to help an orphanage up the road. I see somebody, you know, when I see somebody that really needs help, that I can do it without thinking twice. Yes, at the same time, I also want to go and buy my Louis Vuitton bag, so I'm not giving up on that idea either. But what I have also learned is, you know, the guys, Albie and Lawrence, you guys never stood once and made us feel that you're doing us a favor. Which, just by the way, I want to say thank you, because you have given me, I mean, we can actually still have a laugh today if I listen to the Voxer that Lawrence sent me on the 6th of July. It was about an 8-minute Voxer, in which he told me I must do so many things, and I put the phone down, I said to Andrew, I can't do these things. And a month and a half, 2 months later, when I listened to it and I realized I was actually doing it. So thanks a lot, Lawrence, I really appreciate that. What else did we learn? Really, I just think that people don't understand, and the one thing that I actually said to Andrew this week, and you know, for a long time, since Andrew and I started doing internet marketing, we'd say about, let's just say under 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. And especially in my family, it's been almost like I'm a prostitute. Okay, I know it sounds bad, but that's, no, Lawrence, I'm serious. You know, it's like you don't talk about what you're doing. It's wrong. And yet, I am so proud to actually come up now and say to the family, I am a professional networker. Whether it's an internet marketer or networker, that's my profession, and I've chosen this profession. And I wish to God that soon there becomes a degree that you can get at a university, which is called networking, because that is actually the basis of any. If most people in their day-to-day businesses knew what we as professional network marketers know, they would just be that much better off in their own businesses. Yeah, that's about me. Thanks.
Now, Natalie, you know, as you're talking, I'm listening to you, and it sounds like you've been working the whole time. I mean, is that what you did the whole time in America? You just worked for 3 weeks?
Work? I told you, work is for people that don't know how to play.
That don't know how to network.
No, listen, can I tell you something? In 3 weeks, I don't think I've laughed this much. We've had, I mean, the nice part is, can I give him a little breakdown of what we actually did, Tony?
Please, please.
Okay, so the first day we arrived, we had breakfast with our leaders, and we were told, who wants to go on the Segway? And at first I thought, that thing's only got 2 wheels. I like things with 4 wheels. But anyway, we decided we'd all go and get onto the Segways. Well, it was the most beautiful way of seeing it, because it literally was. It was a tour of San Diego. It was a tour of San Diego on the Segway. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. In actual fact, that's just my Christmas present this year. Andrew's going to buy me a Segway. Okay, that was the first day. Anyway, then we had the meetings with WUKAR. I mean, these guys are so laid back and so relaxed, and we just felt part of that family immediately. And now I'm talking about the bigger family, the WUKAR side of it. After finishing our Monday, we had that SD meeting, and now we drive down to LA, but I'm an ex-travel agent, and they thought that I'd done the bookings for the hotels, but I hadn't. And now we arrive in LA, and I think, you know what, I've heard on TV, I've heard them talk about Santa Monica. So I put Santa Monica on the GPS, and off we go to Santa Monica. But none of us, we stop at the first hotel, and I really felt like that, you know, what was it called, the movie?
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. When I walked into the hotel, the first hotel, and Elisa and I walk in very confidently into the hotel, we're going to get a bed for the night. $490. Ah, very nice. We walked out. Anyway, eventually we got accommodation, and the next day we did a tour of Santa Monica, tour of LA. We did Warner Brothers Studio. What else did we do? That was there were 3 things we did there. It was the Warner,
The Beverly
Hills, and LA. All I can tell you is we had a lovely day, and then we decided to drive through the desert to Las Vegas. All I can tell you, there was no desert. We thought we were going to get, we said when we get to a place where there's no cars, we'll then take a video. Eventually we had to take a video with all the cars around us because there was no, it was bumper to bumper all the way. Anyway, arriving in Las Vegas, we had an absolute ball, and I mean, if I tell you that Andrew and I, well, Andrew had us in stitches as well. Andrew's pretty good. Believe it or not, you know, he sounds serious, but he's not. I'm the serious Joe, yeah. And then, I mean, look.
I want you guys to give me, what did you take out of the events of WUKAR? I mean, from Andrew and from your side, Natalie, what's the one thing that stood out from you from the event side?
Oh, I'm a homie, guys. I'm a homie. You know what stood out? These young guys that were just so down to earth, and how much they are prepared to give us. This is the important part. Is you know what we've already got in WUKAR is a sense of what they are planning for us. So do you realize what that actually means? I mean, I've sat down and the mind boggles, because while we're sitting back here and we're going to grow our teams, these guys are thinking of bigger, better ways of getting us higher incomes. And quite honestly, I think that is what stood out for me, is definitely the fact that these guys are wanting to get us further. Okay?
Now, for me, you know, Tony, was that all the leaders that spoke, even Lawrence and Albie, they all started somewhere. They started with nothing. They weren't given a golden spoon. These guys have all, you know, been through it. They've got their school fees. I mean, you know, they've all got a story to tell. And what really touched me was when Jason got his dad on stage. I was actually telling my kids that this evening when he called his dad on stage and he said, "Dad, I'm buying your freedom." And you know, emotionally, that did a lot for me.
Can you, some people might not know what's the story of Jason, Andrew. Can you just tell them the story, share the experience with us?
What he did is he got his dad to come on stage. His dad had suffered, I think, 5 heart attacks and was working as a salesman still. So what he did is he called his dad on stage and said, "Dad, thank God I'm doing so well now. I'm going to buy your freedom. I'm going to pay you to stay at home now and retire." And it was, you know, the way they were hugging each other, and his dad was crying, his mom was crying. I think most of the people in the audience were crying as well. It was just quite emotional.
That is so true, guys. And isn't that amazing? And that's what this industry allows us to do. You know, that's why a lot of people still don't understand what is our profession. And our profession truly is just to help people to get to a better stage in their life. You know, to help people to fulfill their dreams. Because a lot of us have lost our dreams. You know, we get stuck into this working environment, And even if we like multiple businesses like what we had before, we get so controlled with all the stress and whatever happens in our life that we forget to dream again. And how amazing was that, Andrew? Like you said, like Jason, he's a VP now obviously in Dublin in WUKAR, and he just asked his dad, like you said, Andrew, he just asked his dad, listen, how much is it going to take you every month to stay at home? Give me that amount. And then his dad told him, this is what I need every month. This is why I'm still working. And he told his dad, well, Dad, I'm paying you every month now for the rest of your life that amount and more. So you do not have to go back to work tomorrow and that. And that was his dad because, as you said, Andrew, his dad has always supported him over all these years, making and not making it. And when there's never money, he used to go to his dad and say, listen, Dad, just help me out. I need food for the family or need to pay the next electricity bill. So his dad, our parents, are the ones that's always suffered and sacrificed for us. I've got here my mom next to me. You guys can see her. There's my mom, And one of the big reasons, I'll never forget this, I attended my first ever event in this industry. Like most of us attended the Big A, event. And I attended that in 1993. That's more than like 11 years ago. And then when they asked me, why are you getting involved in this industry? I said, well, first I want the freedom. But more than that, I don't want my parents, at that time my dad was still alive, I don't want my parents to worry about where their money is going to come from. And I want to look after my mom, I want to look after my dad. And a big reason why Annalisa and myself are doing this business is that we know we can put our own little pension fund for my mom. And we can put our own little pension fund for Annalisa and her parents. And they don't have to worry about money. And that's what this allows us to do. It's not just about us. It's about how we can change our families and friends' lives. So, guys, what did you think about, what's the one thing that you got out of Lawrence and Albie? The one sentence or the one penny that dropped for you guys?
On my part, it's definitely be humble, stay focused, stay focused, stay focused, and stay focused again. Thanks, Lawrence. You're smiling there, but it's true. This is one thing about this kind of work. I mean, look, I've always worked hard, so hard work doesn't frighten me. But I didn't actually realize how important it was to be focused 24/7. And that's one thing that both Lawrence and LB brought in their various conversations, and as well, be true to yourself and be true to others. You know what? That's one thing I did get out. Both these guys were absolutely honest. They've gone through hard times. They've gone through very good times, and they hope to go through many better times. But they haven't forgotten where they came from, which to me was very important. I really appreciated that. Another thing that I wanted to say as well was, Tony, one thing that I did see from this whole business, this whole internet network marketing sort of business, is the fact that there are so many young people. And I know when I was only 20, when I was 22 when I opened my first travel agency. And why did I open my first travel agency? I still don't like it today, but I never liked being told what to do. Okay? And if you work for a boss, you have to do what the boss says. That's the way it is. And that's why, I mean, I started my very first travel agency. I was 22 years old, and I've been self-employed all my life, but I never wrote out my own check. For a long time, I used to say to people, yes, it was fantastic. I didn't have to be, I could be at work when I wanted, I could do what I wanted. But you know what? I only got the leftovers. First, you have to pay your rent, and you pay your telephones, and you pay your staff, then you pay your taxes. And then whatever's left is yours. Okay, so there were months that I made lots of money and I enjoyed it. Believe me, I did. But there were many months that there wasn't enough for me. And the nice thing about this business is if you work on it consistently, getting better day by day, you're going to get to a point where you will be able to write your own check. What I did notice as well is the amount of young people that we saw, especially in Vegas. So many young people, young kids of 24, 25, 26 that are so involved in this kind of business already. And that's when I realized, especially in the States, it's actually in South Africa, it's almost a no-no conversation. People don't see us as a career. This is not a career. In the States, it is a career. And the people work that way. Okay, that's it from my side.
Andrew, from your side, last closing words?
Yeah, you know, the positiveness that comes with this industry. You know, I've been to in the franchise industry, and we go to their conferences, and when you speak to the other guys, you get a lot of negativity. The guy tells you problems with his staff, this and that. But in this industry, when you speak to the guys, you know, they're motivating you. They're always telling you, you should read this book, do this, do that, and it's all positiveness. And that's something that I've learned. And I know the leaders are always saying, guys, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. You can never read enough.
That's so true. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Please don't go off. Stay on, and then let's listen to what the partners have got to say. Well, I'm super excited, more than ever before. There's a big challenge because I've just landed. Most of us, Andrew and Natalie, landed yesterday. I'd landed this morning in South Africa, so we're still jet lagged. And but I am so pumped up, guys. You know, entrepreneurs never sleep. We just take naps. You know what? And I just took a power nap. That's why I'm looking so fresh and I saved. And I'm looking 150% energized. And I just took my power nap an hour ago. And but what's amazing about this industry is that we can sit here. I'm actually from South Africa. I'm sitting here at my home. And on the line here, we've got our two mentors. We're fortunate enough to be sponsored by them into this business, into this industry. And you know what? We've got Albie that's from Australia. We've got Lawrence that's from Durban in Natal in South Africa here. And we were fortunate enough to meet up with them in person, obviously in San Diego and that. And it was my first time to meet Albie. On screen he looks so small. But when you meet this guy in real life, he's like James Bond. I don't know if you guys ever met James Bond. He's a tall guy, posture. And you know what? And I just met this gentleman of a professional network marketer. And I've got the highest respect for these two guys. You know, I've got and I had great mentors in my life. You know, my past 5.5 years in traditional offline businesses, network marketing. You know, I had amazing friends that I've made, and I had amazing mentors. You know, Louis Leone, Al, Chris. You know, people that I look up into this industry, and I've learned from this in this past 5.5 years. And then I took a decision, and I just said, I want something different. I want things to be automated for me. I want to work more. I want to work more, but I want to be more productive. And when I say I want to work more, I'm talking about working smart, guys. I'm not talking about working hard. We've all worked hard. We don't need to work hard anymore. If you want to work hard, go to your normal job. You know, if you want to work hard, stay in your traditional business. I promise you, you're going to work hard for the rest of your life. I just wanted to start working smart. And after 5.5 years, I just felt in my offline network that I was working hard, you know, and I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And nothing wrong with the system or nothing wrong with, it's just for me, you know, I've got huger dreams. I've got a bigger vision. And it didn't fit into my bigger vision anymore. And I just wanted the fun back into my life. I just wanted to start working smart. And then obviously I met Lawrence online, got to connect with him. And guys, that's what we've experienced in this past few months. And again, You know what? I've been privileged enough to attend a lot of incentives. I've hit every incentive that was out on my offline business. I hit all of them. But I have never had so much fun as what I had this past 3 weeks. And you know why? It's because we did the events, we went to the conferences, we did all that 12, 16 hours of networking, you know, 2-3 days events. But you know what? We had fun. You know, we rented the car for 3 weeks, Natalie and Andrew and myself. We rented the car, we traveled. We never got lost. Annalisa said we got lost sometimes. We were making U-turns. And I just keep reminding them, it's just a sightseeing, guys. I just made a U-turn, but this is sightseeing. We never lost, you know. So we just had fun. And for the past 3 weeks, as a network marketer, you know, I'm like a kid again. I'm like a kid again with this new business. And that's what this can deliver to you. So 2 people that has made a huge difference, not just in my life, but in our whole team's life, is this 2 gentlemen that I'm going to introduce you to. So I don't know who wants to go first. Let's start with Lawrence. Let's go with Lawrence. Well, this guy, you might think he's a quiet guy, because he is. You might think he's an introvert, because he is. But let me tell you, when it comes to internet marketing and the profession of network marketer, we are dealing here, guys, and that's from my personal view, because I've seen what's happening in the industry. We are dealing here with what I believe to be the top internet network marketer of this industry. I want you guys to listen to this guy. He is setting the trend of what's happening in this industry. That's what he and Albie is doing as a leadership point of view, and when they're taking this team, we are going to be breaking all records. We are going to set the standard in the industry. We already are. And more than that, and that's why I fell in love all over again with this industry. They've got systems, guys, in place. And the systems, guess what, allows us, and I've got a book that I want every one of you to read. It's called The 4-Hour Work Week. Just pass me the book there, please. It's a 4-hour work week. I'll show you the book. Whatever you do, just go out there, get this book. This book will change your life. I read this book in 2010. That's why leaders always tell you, go and read. Because whatever you read will change your mindset. So, Annalise is just passing me the book. This is the book that I'm talking about. The 4-hour work week. Now, once I read this book, listen guys, I want you to understand how powerful our mind is. I read this book in 2010. That's 4 years ago. And that book's information, once read, is never lost. So it's set on in my unconscious. And that is why I was always keeping on searching, even on my offline network marketing. Fantastic, Natalie. Even in my offline business. That's why it didn't do to me what I wanted to, because my mind has expanded much more than that. And that book has changed, and I am living and I'm trying to get to my 4-hour work week. So I don't think we'll ever get there, but you know what? 4 hours or 5 hours is still better than 48 hours or 45 hours in a job, or if you've got your traditional business, more than 6 hours a week working. And this is what this industry can do for you. So guys, my mentor, the guy that's changing thousands and thousands of people's lives on the internet and network marketing, give your hands up to Lawrence Haasbroek. Thank you, Lawrence.
All right, guys, welcome. It almost feels like I have to walk on water now, but nonetheless, what can I say? You know, it's been a long journey. Each of us has our own story. So let me, for those of you who are new and who are listening to this, and all these crazy people for the first time, let me put it this way. This industry is a place where ordinary people can truly break free and start living extraordinary lives. And I truly mean that with the utmost respect and sincerity to everybody around. I come from a background where my father passed away when I was 8 years old. I was obviously had my mother by herself. My sister's 8 years older than I am. She went off to boarding school, so I kind of grew up alone in the house. And I became this rebel and did all the wrong things that you can possibly imagine. Nonetheless, I ended up leaving school at 16 years old, which today I have no gripes about at all. I started working and eventually ended up in such a position financially that I had to sweep floors. Now I cover this all the time when I talk to people about, you know, just my story, because that's my story, just so that you can see why I'm saying that ordinary people, regardless of where you are at this moment, at this stage, whether you're in debt, Albie can cover a lot on that as well. I've made millions, I've lost it all, and I've made it all again. I come from a background where I swept floors of factories. I obviously live in South Africa. I used to live up country in the Gauteng area, Vaal Triangle. Worked with a broomstick in a place called Mittal Steel, which is probably one of the biggest steel factories around the world. And I swept floors for a living there for 2,500 rand, which is like not even 2,500. Let's call it just $200 to $500, depending on whatever we did make on a particular shutdown, as it's known. So I came all the way from there with everybody, just like you've heard people's stories here, where they have mentioned, you know, they've had family against them, they've had friends against them, they've had co-workers against them, and all their dreams, especially, you know, when people take on this internet marketing thing and people tell you you're wasting your time. And it's changed my life. What do I get out of this more than money is to just realize how far I have personally come, not only on finances, but as an individual. There's probably the biggest thing that this industry does for you is that it changes you. It makes you so much better. It makes you a better communicator. It makes you more likable. It makes you stronger, strong-willed. It makes you to become an individual that does not quit all the time like most of society does. So that is why I now enjoy it more to listen to others and learn and hear their stories, to see how things have changed, how they've been bettering themselves and what they have been doing in this, and the path that they have trodden in life, because we all get born, we're all going to die one day, and we all have only so much time left on planet Earth. So it's in our all best interest to work together and make it the best for everybody else, because you only have limited time. It was, with that said, you know, Tony and Natalie and all of you guys that were there, it was just, for me, it was awesome. It was, I have been at many events. I've been in this industry 9 years now, probably longer if I count the offline industry as well. I've been in the internet marketing scene for 9 years, 6 years successfully. The first 3 years was, I'd call my learning curve, my learning school, which was quite very hard for me. And I've been at so many events. I usually travel 2, 3, 4 times a year around the globe to various different places and events. And it was now the first time in 9 years of being in the online scene where I was at an event where what happened there and what I saw there really spoke to me. It's as if when I was there, it was for me, because I grew fed up of marketers and people and leaders even saying and doing anything just to make money in this industry. And it has meant so much for me to see where this team has started from. If you look at the guys behind Team WUKAR, which obviously we're all involved in, like Matt Trainer and Rich Cook, and just hear their personal stories of struggle and making millions before and losing it all. There were so many common things for me personally with them where our stories were similar. You know, I had a past where I was in the drug scene involved in that. All sorts of stuff that you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy. And how people have overcome these things, and they've gotten to a point where they are free, debt-free, and they are mentally free, if I can put it that. Because we all know, you know, the impact that finances and stress and all of the troubles of this life can have on you. So for those of you who are sitting there wondering, you know, is this real? Why are these people so excited? Isn't this just another business opportunity? Isn't this just another team? I can tell you just from my personal experience of 9 years of making a lot of money in this industry, a lot of money, especially in the South African mindset. I don't even want to name, you know, the figures because most people think we're crazy when we talk about these things. But nonetheless, I've had the opportunity to meet people. I'm sitting in South Africa. My best friend is in Australia, Albie Costa. He's there. I've met him nearly 4 years ago. It has allowed us to build a relationship where I've been able to visit him, where we've been able to attend events around the world together, where we've been able to build businesses and teams together, where we've made a lot of money together, where we've helped people cry together, pray together, did all sorts of funny, crazy stuff together, because we truly do care about seeing people's lives change, because both his story and my story are basically built on a foundation where we started at rock bottom in life. So therefore, we believe that anybody can do this, and that's why I opened with a statement of ordinary people can come here and change their lives. You know, usually in the internet space, there's quite a learning curve. But what WUKAR has done with everything that they've put together, as well as what we have put together in what is known as the Millionaire Factory team, which is obviously run by myself and Albie, we've created so much tools and resources that people can tap in and use, which they don't have to go and learn to create all that stuff themselves first in order to start, you know, building a success for themselves. So for me, it is more about seeing people's lives change and have it on a consistent basis happening all over the globe than it is for me just to make more and more and more and more money. The reason I'm saying that is because I used to make a lot of money previously. All that stuff went to my head. It made me a worse person. I lost it all, and I had to rebuild it all. Thankfully, this time, I now have the mindset that I do have now. So, once again, you know, there's so many important things that, I mean, I noted a bunch of stuff down here, but if I have to cover everything that I've gained from listening to each of you, I'd probably talk for another hour, you know. It is awesome to learn and see, and even myself, having the attitude of being like a sponge, especially when you're new. Become like a sponge, right? And soak up everything that you hear. This is what these people have gotten from like attending the events. That is why we talk about these events. Is that you have the opportunity to rub shoulders with people that are somebody you might see and hear on the other side of a screen through a video, but now you have the opportunity to meet that person in live, and it's these small little discussions where you talk about needless stuff and you actually learn from it. So in my opinion, guys, you're at the right place at the best time, not even just the right time. I can just say, you know, focus, as Natalie says, I always cover this, focus, get involved with us, get involved with a person who has gotten you to come and attend this. I have changed my life, so many other people have changed their lives. Albie has been in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars. and he has, he'll tell you more about his story. But personally, I want to thank all of you for being there, for sharing the opportunity for myself and Albie to meet you guys. And obviously a whole heap of other people around the globe that was there as well from the international part of our team. Albie, my friend, thanks for being a partner. It is one of the best things that has happened to me in my online, call it career, business, was meeting with an individual that is in so many levels alike, where we will catch ourselves, seeing somebody saying something, and he would ask me, "Did you get that? Did you understand that? Did you hear the same thing I did?" And that actually happened today as well. Where we just read some stuff between leaders, but nonetheless, guys, this is a place where you can totally change your life. If you have debt now, you can be debt-free. If you have this feeling of fear of what about my future, what about my parents, what about my children, what about myself, you can change all of that. Money is important to do that, but you will gain much more than money when you become involved in this team, because you as an individual will change and you will walk this planet for the rest of the time that you have here with your shoulders up, your head up high, without any fear. And that's basically, I think, the biggest part of freedom that anybody can attain is that. So with that said, one last thing, as Dave mentioned, I'm just going to do the same thing, go and read books. Books do change your life. Now, a lot of people say they hate reading. Man, I hate reading. Nobody hates reading more than me, all right? Freaking, I quit school at 16, so you must get something from that, right? There's another book, I read a whole bunch of stuff because it has helped me understand people. It's helped me to get to the place where I wanted to go. It's also helped me, just like Jason, to be able to take care of my mother-in-law. Obviously, both my parents have now passed away, so I have had the opportunity to take care and take my mother-in-law under my wing, just like Jason. This is the type of stuff where people's lives are being changed. It's not about just making money. If you just want to make money, go start a freaking Wimpy or something somewhere, right? Right, Natalie? Right. Okay, I get the thumbs up there. So, or do some other business. I'm telling you, from my experience, that there's no better place for you to start making money that will change your life and that will allow you to change other people's lives. But even more than that, you will be having the opportunity to become part of a team of people who's pulling in the same direction, as Albie always says, who's got the same mindset, the frame of mind, the same direction, the same goals and dreams. And funny enough, everybody's attitude starts rubbing off on everybody else. And it just creates this environment where you can become an individual, where you can actually walk planet Earth, like I said, free of fear. So it has been, an utmost pleasure to be with all of you, to see some of you change so much over the years and over the last weeks and months. I know how much my life has changed. I know how much Albie's life has changed, and it's been awesome. So with that said, there's no time to waste. Get involved now. 2015 is around the corner, and we are waiting for you to take you along. Lock arms with us, and we'll walk the straight and narrow with you as well.
Thank you, Lawrence. Listen, guys, I want to introduce you to Albie. This is a gentleman which I think will become like the godfather of this group. And he's just got a posture as a leadership. And, Lawrence, and just between the two of them, they are such a great complementary of each other. And I want you guys to understand Albie, an amazing leader in this industry, one that understands network marketing offline and now understands not network marketing online, internet marketing, one that is changing leaders and helping leaders to go from the one level to the next level to the next level. And it's got nothing to do with money, guys. This is all about leadership. So, guys, I want you to introduce you to the godfather of this group, Albie. Unmute yourself, Albie. There we go.
Hey, yes, that's always a good thing, isn't it? Hey, Tony, thanks very much. I've never actually been introduced like that before, so and the whole James Bond thing. I'm going to tell my wife that. Okay, she'll like that. Hey, listen, it kind of feels like a bit of a family gathering here. You know, I've got Carol and Karen over there, and of course I've got my brother over there, Lawrence. I've only just got over his snoring over in San Diego, so my ears. That's why I've got the headphones on. And then I've got these incredible couple that I met, Natalie and Andrew and I are looking at each other because we know I'm not the godfather. This guy is the godfather, right? He is. Yes. All right, and always will be. And the amount of fun we had with those guys. Tertius, you feel like a family member that I haven't met. Haven't actually got to meet you yet, and we're going to rectify that in February, right? And of course, Tony, and the only person that's missing is your lovely daughter, Annalisa.
Gonna get you for this.
And it was just awesome meeting you guys. It really was like just having family. I remember coming down for breakfast with Lawrence that first, I think it was a Friday morning. I said that the whole thing's a blur. And just meeting you guys, and it's kind of weird because we felt like we already knew you, but then to sit down and have breakfast with you was seriously just like having breakfast with your family. It was just awesome. And you know, then to go on and do all the stuff we did together, and I like Natalie and all you guys, this whole Segway thing was an absolute highlight. And by the way, Natalie, just as any good leader would do, I did let you win that Segway race. Just so I didn't damage your self-esteem, and you know it, okay? And the fact that I'm about 80 kilo heavier than you probably helped as well. I've got to tell you, man, I put my foot on that Segway, and something very childlike came out of me. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed about how I behaved, and it was just crazy. It's like when you put a chainsaw in a guy's hand, his whole personality changes. Or you put a Segway under my feet, and I just went through this whole personality transformation. I'm not too sure what happened, so I apologise if I said things and did things that were very childlike. Actually, no, I don't apologise. To be honest, I had the time of my life. It was great fun. Oh, guys, we just had a blast over there, and to do it with you, team, was just so special. I don't know how many times I've said to Lawrence, man, I can't wait to catch up with these guys again because it's just a bunch of fun. And I think Tony's, was it you, Tony? I think your classic comment was, I said to you at some point, is this work? And you said, if this is work, I'm going to be slaving for the rest of my life. So it was just awesome. And so thank you for making us feel part of your family. You know, it was a beautiful thing, and you know, it is a wonderful business. It's this industry levels the playing field for everybody. None of us are born with a stamp on our bottom saying you're going to be successful, you're not going to be successful, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to own a Wimpy's, you know, you're going to do this or do that. We all start on a level playing field, and for some reason, as life goes on, you know, we start out with all these dreams and aspirations, and over time, those dreams and aspirations actually get knocked out of us by so-called reality. You know, people tell us to, you know, get real, and this business actually takes us back to, you know, when we're a child and we're able to dream again and act on those dreams. It gives us a vehicle to actually achieve all those dreams that we, you know, we had when we were kids. And that event that we went to, as I said, it brought out the kid in me, and it just reminded me again that, you know, my dreams are coming alive again, and this is giving us all the opportunity to achieve all the dreams, whatever those dreams are, and different things for different people. It's amazing. My journey in this industry began nearly 23 years ago, and also with the Big A, and you know, it was a great training ground. It was very hard work. We learnt to read books and expand our mind and work on our mindset, and then you know, we got out of the industry for many years, and I left school when I was 14. Again, I didn't have much of an education myself. I had a trade background. I actually did what I call a coach building trade. We used to build truck bodies and things like that. And you know, I had some great businesses, and bad businesses. I was always an entrepreneur at heart. I was always willing to try different things, and I understood that risk was the currency of the entrepreneur quite early in my life, and those risks sometimes paid well, mostly didn't. And you know, my poor wife had to suffer the consequences of that many times. We got to a point about 4.5 years ago, maybe nearly 5 years ago now, where we got really clever. We were investing in the Forex market, and we got so good at it. We told everybody. Again, my wife said, "No, don't tell everybody what you're doing." Of course, me being the big mouth, had to tell the friends and family, and you know, we took all their money as well, put it all in the markets, and then over an 8-hour period back in, I forget what year it was, about 4 or 5 years ago, over an 8-hour period, we saw all of our money and our friends' money and all the money that we borrowed disappear into cyberspace. And we went from, I didn't have to work at that point, everything was fairly automated, to being $700,000 in debt and having zero income overnight. It was quite literally overnight. And I can't even tell you the amount of tears that I shed at the time. Turns out it was the best thing that ever happened in my life. It was another, they always say that the valleys in life is where the fertile ground is. That's where the tall oaks grow. So I had to get an income. I started driving trucks. I had a truck license from when I was in my 20s and hadn't driven since then. Driving a truck gave me the opportunity to get my head back together. I turned my truck into a university. I used to have a bit of a routine, you know, I used to listen to positive stuff, get the mindset right, and my confidence was at an all-time low. I had accusations coming at me because people don't like losing money, as it turns out, and I still have challenges with some of those people today. Now, I searched online and tried a few different things, and eventually bumped into this guy who had a bit of a training system on YouTube, and I got in touch with this guy and asked if I could plug into his training system, and he very graciously said yes, even though there was no financial benefit to him. That guy was Lawrence Hasbrook, and there's something sort of magical happened. We didn't get off on the right foot. Lawrence being a very straight shooter, I thought I'd tell him how good I was, and he reminded me the situation I was in, and then asked me what results I had, and I had to kind of think long and hard about where I was at, and I really wasn't as good as I thought I was, and had a bit of big reality check, and you know, we had these emails bounce back and forth, and at some point we got on the Skype call and we talked to each other, and we were just speaking the same language. He was where I wanted to be, and I knew that there was X amount of work I had to do, and after building a relationship with him, I said to him, I said, "Lawrence, you tell me what to do, and I'll do it, I promise you." And he said, "Look, I believe in a hand up, not a hand out." He said, "If I teach you what to do, you have to do everything I tell you to do. Otherwise, you know, it's game over." He said, "If you do everything I tell you to do, then I'll do it." You know, I already had a good work ethic, I knew that. And so we embarked on this journey, and that journey took a couple of years, I can tell you. At the time we were building the business that we were involved in then, I had debt collectors coming around to the house. We had the sheriff come around twice, and once when we had friends over to do a stock take of everything we had. I remember one time while I was actually on a Skype call with Lawrence, the door was knocking, and I left the Skype going, and it was a lady turned up to repossess our car. And I came back from that situation, and Lawrence was still on the Skype call, and I just broke down and lost it. And I don't know how many tears I shed over that time, you know, with Lawrence, and you know, I just cried and cried and cried. And Lawrence, you know, all he ever said to me was, he goes, "Mate, you've got what it takes. You've got what it takes." And my wife, who's been the most amazing support, used to just say to me, you know, "Get up and fight one more day. Just get up and fight one more day. Just give it one more day." I said, "Look, I just want to go bankrupt. I want," you know, she says, "No, that's the easy way out." And Lawrence said to me, "That's the easy way out. Get up and fight one more day." And he would tell me, I believe in you. You've got what it takes. It's in there. We've just got to get it out." And he walked that journey with me. And you know, it started out, I started making $500 or $600 a month, and then that turned into a couple of $1,000s a month. I could never see $30,000 or $40,000 a month, but I could see $5,000 from $2,000. And Lawrence just said, keep going, don't look back. He said, never look backwards, just look forward, focus, and never give up. If you give up, you give up on yourself. You don't give up on anyone else. You don't give up on me. And man, I was angry. Like, I remember telling Lawrence, I think it was last year, I said, mate, listen, you could have fixed up all my financial problems just with a click of a mouse, transferred money, put it into my account, problem solved. You know, why didn't you do that? I was actually angry at him, but I never asked him out of sheer pride, never asked him for money. And he said something to me that I'll never, ever forget. He said, you know what, I cried thinking of your situation. But he said, I knew the worst thing that I could do was to pay your bills because I would have taken your motivation away. And he said, you had to go through that time to become the person you are now. You had to go through those valleys. And made such wisdom. I always say about Lawrence, he has an old head on young shoulders. And, you know, such wisdom from such a young guy. And just to have a friend walk with me through that path. You know, Lawrence, I've said this to you many times, somebody who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself anymore. You know, my self-esteem was on the floor, and, you know, you were there, and you know, now we get to reap the rewards together. And I think going through that journey, I mean, just to kind of end that story, I mean, we 500, a couple of thousand that turn. We've had our ups and downs, been through various businesses. Last month was one of the most incredible months we've had in our lives, and you know, we hit the big $100,000 mark last month together, and that has probably been the most rewarding thing that I've ever done, is to do that with my best friend, my business partner, and to go through all the cuck together and go through that mountain of crap and to get on the other side, but then to walk across that line together with my best friend next to me. It's just awesome. I've got to tell you, it's just awesome. And to do it with you guys, you know, this team, and you know, this is something very special. And this sort of stuff, this is the stuff that keeps you humble, because, you know, you remember the times you went through and where you are now, and you never want to go back. I never want to go back to the crap that I was going through 4 or 5 years ago. Never, ever. And you know what? But it also makes us uniquely qualified to relate to a very wide audience as well. And there's a saying in this industry that the more people you relate to in this industry, the more money you'll make. But I've got to tell you, and Lawrence did tell me early in the piece, he said, when you start making those, you know, big money, which was anything above $20,000 a month, he said, it's not going to be the money that motivates you anymore. And I could never believe that. I said, that's the only thing that's motivating you now. When you get there, I can honestly tell you, like Lawrence just said, you look back at your team, and the greatest satisfaction you can get is to see people see the song come out of them, see their potential realised, to see the music inside them come out. It is the most satisfying thing. The saddest thing is to see people fall on the way that had all the potential in the world but quit on themselves. You know, and all you guys here, because I've met you all except for Tertius, I've met you all in person, and you know, I know I've enjoyed seeing that in each of you, hearing Karen speak before about, you know, how her mindset's changed, and meeting Natalie and Andrew, who are a long way down the track of mindset anyway when it comes to, they've been in business for a long time, but how much fun they have doing it. Tony and Annalisa, man, we just had so much fun with you guys, and seeing you just step up to the plate as leaders when you're running this hangout. You know, you're just so far down that mindset track. The thing that really impressed me was I got on the plane, came back to Australia. I was talking to Lawrence. Now Lawrence probably he makes enough money to survive. Trust me, I know exactly how much he makes. He does okay. All right. You would think that you get to that point where your mindset's at a certain point, you'd be happy with it, right? Mate, this guy never stops. I got onto Skype with him, and he was still in San Diego, and he whipped out this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and he said to me, mate, I need to start growing in a certain area of my life. I've just bought this book, and that blew me away, and I thought, wow, I want to get there, and I want to get to where you're at, and you're thinking, I'm not where I want to be, and it was a great area to there. Look, what a great example of someone who wants to keep on growing and keep on learning. And this one saying is so pertinent. You know, at the point you think you've arrived, that's the point you've actually departed. And if you ever think you've arrived in this industry, you better have someone like Lawrence next to you to give a bit of a reality slap we were having a chat about this last night because we did see a certain young individual who's had a lot of success early in their life, and the attitude that's come with it is just shocking. And Lawrence said he'll go through a learning curve all of his own. And so, yeah, Tony, thank you so much for putting us together, and thank you to all you guys just for being so loyal. Thank you for being such a great family to hang around. Thank you for just the awesome fun and embracing that whole childlike mindset and putting up with me acting like a kid on segways and just being who you are. You know, we dearly love all you guys. We love our team. We love the culture that our team has, and that culture has been adopted by you guys and propagated by you guys. So thank you so much.
Well, Albie, thank you very much. You know, one thing that I'm so proud of what's happening in this team and this group is that we are starting to read, you know, and we're reading that what we need to go to the next level. And that culture is so important, especially in this industry. And I echo your words, Albie. So, you know, we've committed as a team. We were, as a team, from our team, we had 7 people at the WUKAR event. And obviously, Lawrence and Albie, they had a bigger group there. But as a team, Albie, Lawrence, we have committed to have at the next event, which is in February in Orlando with WUKAR, we've committed to have 100 of our team leaders at that event. I know it's a huge goal, but it's one that we are going to crack. We are going to get people to the event. And it's going to be a life-changing event, guys. That's what you've experienced in network marketing. It's totally not that. You will understand when you get there. We are sitting on something special. We are taking a massive, massive team with us within the next 90 days. We have got massive action coming. Guys, if you are sitting on the fence and you're listening to this video and you're not in yet, get back to the person that invited you to this webinar. Get back to the person that sent you this video. He will help you to get plugged in. Do whatever it takes, guys. Whatever it takes. Like Karen and Carol. Do whatever it takes to get to the event in Orlando in February. You will get to meet an amazing team. You'll get to meet amazing leaders. And yeah, so from my side, I just want to say I'm super grateful to all of you guys. Super grateful to have the mentors in my life. Super grateful to have the partners in my life. And we are going to be changing lives, people. Many thousands of lives. So you guys be blessed. I'm going to ask Tertius to end off for us. Thank you, Tertius.
Yes, thanks very much, Tony. Well, how does one say anything after that? I've just been watching the people in the attendees list. I'm seeing there's new people, there's guys that are coming on board with their teams, and I want to encourage you guys. I'm looking forward to working with each one of you and growing together, regardless of which branch of the team you're in and who your sponsor is. We're all in a team together, and to me that's been one of the most amazing things to see happen here, is how people are just stepping up and helping each other out, guiding each other. And I want to leave you with one small thing that I realized this week, and I've started sharing it with my team, and I want to share it with the greater group, is you can only focus on 2 or 3 things about yourself that you can hone and polish and become better at. Don't try to do 10 things. And I know this is something that Lawrence has also said. Don't try to do Facebook and solos and this and that and the next thing and all sorts of different marketing techniques. Choose one and start becoming a master. And I've actually got some material that I'd like to share with you guys at some stage, but that's going to be for a different webinar about growing as a leader and growing as a professional. And Tony, I really resonate with what you've said about this industry, that you can truly become a network marketing professional. And I think being part of the Team WUKAR team, and for those of you who haven't logged into the back office and watched Matt Trainer's latest video, you've got to get to that, guys. You've got to stay up to date. But there you'll realize that this WUKAR team is not just about Doobly. It's much bigger than Doobly, and it's gonna give us longevity that is maybe not common in companies in this industry. With that being said, on the mail I communicated with you guys, and on the site that we aim for no longer than an hour and a half. We've got an hour and 20 minutes, and I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Except, guys, God bless. May you be blessed. May you be successful, and go for it. Never give up on yourself. Always, always get up and try again one more time tomorrow. With that said, God bless. All the best.
Yes, guys.